going on, everybody? It is me again, it's Horror Fan 34, and welcome to another video. And welcome to another recap video. I know I haven't done a video in a little bit now, just been sort of taking a breather a little bit because I just got off of doing the 31 Days of Horror challenge for the month of October, 31 reviews per day for October. So ever since then, I've been taking a little bit of a breather. Because, 31 videos, the 31 reviews, that's a lot of reviews for one per day for the month of October. But I just figured I'd do a quick little recap video for you guys on this one. Probably going to be a little bit more of a smaller video than usual. But tonight, I had the lovely opportunity to go to the Showboat Horror Con once again in Atlantic City, New Jersey. So, like I said, it's going to be a lot more of a smaller one, so there's, no DVD or Blu-ray pickups in this, because, the Showboat Horror Con doesn't, other than, the VHS-PS, stand they have, which is at Monster Mania and all that stuff, where they sell rare movies that were copied from a VHS to a DVD-R. I have, a majority of them already, so, there wasn't really any more there that I really needed. But other than that, there's no vinegar. I don't think there's any Vinegar Syndrome table or Diabolic DVD table. I don't see those around on the Showboat, so I kind of see them more at Monster Manias and all that stuff. Because I think that's probably the most cons they go to is Monster Mania, but not this one. So there's no pickups in this. So it's just going to be the autographs in this one, and it's only going to be 2 autographs this time because, unfortunately, though, 80% of this lineup that was there tonight, I pretty much already have, or I've met before. So for example, the people that were there were Alex Vincent, Christina Lis, who I've met before, Felissa Rose, Tony Moran, Dee Wallace, and the list keeps going on and on. I've met a majority of those people already, and there was really 2 people here that really piqued my interest that I really wanted. So I mainly got those 2. So there's going to be a lot more of a smaller video, like I said before. So anyways, getting on to, well, first I have the wristband, because I went there for one day, for Friday. And I figured I'm going to do the same thing as usual, though, with this one, where I'm going to talk about the story with the celebrity, show my picture with the celebrity, and the picture of the autographed item or them signing it, things like that. But it's going to be a lot more smaller. But getting on to the first one that I met was Lisa Jacob. Now, if you don't know who Lisa Jacob is, she played Lydia Hiller, the oldest daughter, in Mrs. Doubtfire. She was also in Independence Day, and she was in a few other things too. She's actually retired from acting and does blogs now on articles on anxiety and mental health and things like that. So she's pretty big blogger into that kind of stuff. So of course I had to get her on my Mrs. Doubtfire Blu-ray, which I actually bought at FYE for $5 the day before the con because I really wanted Mrs. Doubtfire on Blu-ray. So and it's a white cover, and it would look a lot nicer in Sharpie because it's a white background. You can put in any color you want. And but Lisa was a very, very nice person to meet. I really enjoyed talking with her. Talked to her for probably maybe 20 minutes or so. She was telling me about all the books that she's written and all her blogs on the anxiety and giving tips and, things like that. So it was really cool stories to hear how she's really big into blogging and, things like that. So I thought a lot of really cool stories there with her. She's a very down-to-earth person, very talkative, very engaging. She was telling a lot of really great stories about, Robin Williams, how much of a father figure he was to her, and on the set, how wonderful he was to work with on the set. Just thought of the world of Robin Williams, and that's really nice to hear someone who spoke so highly of Robin Williams. And she was really, really nice, and she really liked my Blu-ray that I had her sign. I thought she really enjoyed that. And another really cool thing too I thought was really nice about Lisa, meeting her, was that at her table, her agent and her had this sort of a camera stand sort of set up with a thing on top. It would kind of look like a camera where you stand up and you record someone, or you take a picture at a wedding or something like that, those camera stands. and I didn't know what it was. I'm like, is that a camera or something like that? But no, apparently it was like some sort of like, I guess you can sort of say like a little bit of a camera, but it wasn't for taking pictures. It was actually for better lighting, because like her table where she was at, there wasn't that much lighting around her table. It was kind of dark, so the picture like really wouldn't come out that great if you took the picture without the lighting. So she had this thing set up, and basically turn on the light, and that way when you see the picture you'll know what I mean. But there's like, it's very bright when you look at the picture. That's because like the lighting was on us, on the backdrop, so that way it can get good lighting on us, and it can have good lighting in the background, because they wanted to be sure that your picture turned out right, because they realized there wasn't that much of great of a lighting where they were seated at. So she wanted to be sure that your pictures came out really good with this camera that she used, and with fluorescent lighting and things like that. I just thought that was just, very generous of her, and very kind of her to do that. I suppose one of the only few. It's like the only celebrity I've seen so far that actually used like fluorescent lighting and also to make pictures turn out, that make pictures look really good and much better looking. Because if there's not that great lighting in the room, you're not gonna get that great of a shot. But you'll see it from the picture. But Lisa was a really great person to me. Very, very talkative, very nice. But anyways, here is my picture with Lisa Jacob. And I screwed up on this one though, because I forgot once again, but I did not get a picture of her signing my Mrs. Doubtfire Blu-ray, so I screwed that one up. So I apologize for that in advance. But here is a picture of the Mrs. Doubtfire Blu-ray with her autograph on it. Okay, so moving on to the last one here, and this is another guy. As soon as I heard that Lisa and this guy were going to be there, I immediately had to go to this one. So the last one that I met for the night was Scott McDonald. If you don't know who Scott McDonald is, this is a guy who's been in quite a few movies and TV shows. He was in Jarhead. He was on Star Trek. I forget which one it was. Deep Space Nine. I think he was on that version of Star Trek, I believe. I don't know the character that he played because I'm not too familiar with Star Trek, except for like Captain Kirk and things like that. But he was on Star Trek Deep Space Nine. But of course, I had to get him for Jack Frost because he played the serial killer Jack Frost in the horror films of Jack Frost. Of course, he was the voice of the Snowman and things like that, so I had to get him on Jack Frost. And yeah, Scott was a really, really cool guy. He was really funny, very talkative, very down-to-earth guy. He really enjoyed the quote that I had picked out for him, because he, on the index card, because I did the same thing for the last con with index cards with quotes and all that stuff. He really enjoyed the quote that I picked out. He said, "This is actually one of my favorite lines of the movie." He was telling a really funny story about that, how they came up with the line, and things like that. That was a pretty cool little story from Scott. And he was very impressed with me that I brought the index card. He's like, very, very well done, very planned out and things like that. He was really impressed with how prepared I was with that quote. So I thought that was very, very complimentary of him. And also before I was meeting Scott, his agent, who I was talking to, he recognized me from the last con I was at in Atlantic City when I met Eric Freeman and Casey DePava, because he was an agent for them too. And he's like, "I remember you." And I'm like, "I remember you too." He's actually the guy that was the agent for both Casey DePava and Eric Freeman at the last show. And he recognized me. So before I was meeting Scott, I was talking with his agent and things like that. So pretty cool little moment there. And another cool thing too about Scott too, he was telling cool stories about fan encounters, how this guy brought this like big pack looking of cards of Star Trek characters, and he was telling a cool story about that. Just a very, very nice guy, Scott McDonald, very, very cool guy. And he shook my hand. He told me, he said, "Thank you for coming out." He said, "Hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend." And another really cool thing too about Scott was when we took the picture, when we were getting ready to take the photo, because I got an 8x10 signed off his table from Jack Frost, and this is the headshot of Jack Frost. You'll see it in the picture. But he picked up the 8x10 that he signed, and he posed with it and he posed for the picture holding it up with me. So he held up the 8x10 while we were posing for our picture. So I thought that was really, really cool. He just did that on his own. He picked up the 8x10 and he posed for the picture. Very, very cool. Very cool guy, Scott McDonald. You'll see it in the picture. But here is my picture with Scott McDonald, and this is the picture that he's like holding up the 8x10 and things like that. So here's that picture. And here's a picture of Scott McDonald signing the 8x10. And the autographed item of that. And that is pretty much it. That's the entire recap. So, like I said, it's going to be a lot more of a smaller video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Hopefully you enjoyed the stories. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.